What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be starting our Call of Duty series, and for those of you who are here for Titanfall, don't you worry, guys. I have not forgotten about you. I'm still going to be throwing in tons of Titanfall. But I want to talk a little bit about Call of Duty just because of the fact that it is new and there's so many things to explore. And I think I don't need to tell you that the biggest problem with this game is spawns. But instead of just bitching about it, we're going to be proactive and start working against that. That's why I want people to start off with Torque McTatot Tots or whoever the hell this Irish bastard is with the mutton chops. This guy has the right tools to make it a little bit easier, especially as you get to know the maps and you get to experiment with weapons. This thing is just going to help you out because it's a very simple concept. It's got area of denial. It means that you can somewhat make yourself safe and you don't always have to worry about somebody running up behind you. See that guy? I'm not just gonna sit behind my wall, come on. You guys know how I like to play. I'm more aggressive, but I'm also a smart player. And in this game, you have to put both of those things together, and a little bit of instinct, because the spawn system is broken, but the more you understand about this game, the easier it's gonna be able to anticipate these things. I think the Specialist is just a good place to start though, as you begin to learn the maps, get used to the weapons, and just overall get more familiar with this game because it is still so new. So before we get into the specifics of using this character, it's actually not very difficult. There's just a few things you may want to know. Number one, that you drop the barbed wire exactly where your feet are. It doesn't drop it in front or behind. It's pretty much right where your feet are. So just keep that in mind when you are looking to set these things up. What else do you want to know about the class? Well, you want to know that if you put this thing somewhere where it can't get shot very easily, it's going to make it more effective, right? No one wants to get right up to it and start shooting it. If people are going to shoot at it, they're going to do it from a distance. People have still also not gotten into the habit of using a launcher. I've been using a launcher. It's great to get rid of UAVs. This was a painful death. That sucked. The melee system, it's different, right? It's not a one-hit kill. That's a new introduction. You guys still have to know that I'm getting used to this game. You're going to see a lot of things that have been catching me by surprise. I didn't play any of the beta. I thought the mechanic where you stuck yourself with the needle, I thought that was a Specialist. I didn't know that it wasn't a passive ability. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning, and all these things that stick out to me, I'm going to pass on to you. I figured why not stick it here if I have all these other things, and they all work together, right? The barbed wire slows them, it lets the pulse from the, well, it helps if I'm in a good position, but that's just what's going to happen in this COD. This Call of Duty seems to have entrances everywhere. It's not just the spawns, it's just that there's so many ways to see you whenever you're in this one spot. It's really hard to find a position that's just completely safe in this game. There's always flank routes. So on top of just securing an area, a good way to not get flanked from behind is to be continuously moving and going forwards. And just kind of keep in mind where your players are and their players. Now, this is the thing that really throws it off, the tack. The ability to put a spawn point somewhere where there shouldn't be really changes the game. The fact that Call of Duty is so, like, it's such a well-known game, and there are so many people that are lone wolves that it's hard to find a safe spawn because these lone wolves, like, I do this myself, like, I just flank around the back and I'm like, I'm just gonna gun down everyone from the outskirts and then I'm gonna go right up the pipe and hit them again. People who play like this really wreck spawn points, and when you have multiple people that play like that in one game, it's gonna be hard to spawn in a safe area where you're not gonna be ready to engage somebody, and that's just the way it is. These maps are relatively small too. Even the ability with the grappling hook can make it seem like spawn points are really close just because of the mobility that some characters have. Something interesting about me crouching behind the shield, I found out that they can still see my head, so crouching right in the center is a really bad idea because for one, you can't shoot them, and two, they can see your head, so they do huge damage when they do hit you. If you're gonna hide behind it, go off to the side so the elevated part of the wall covers your head. It's also really good for objective gameplays. All shields are really good. The guy with the mobile shield, he is unreal. Really good for these objective types. As somebody who's still learning all the weapons, like I have gone full out on like 3 weapons. I've got all the attachments. SMGs versus assault rifles, you're definitely going to see a difference between PC players and assault rifles because the SMGs, if you really want to get the most out of them, you do want that rapid fire perk. But then it makes it really hard to handle. If you're not in close distance, you're going to have a hard time controlling that spray with a controller. So don't just go off of what people are saying is the best in theory, because a lot of these weapons are going to be difficult to aim whether you're on PC or console. So just be aware that it's not just TTK, it's also going to be ease of use. And right now people are just looking for very easy things to use. I think people are going to find more efficient weapons as they learn the game a little bit more. Again, I'm surprised people don't have launchers. I'm going to get into the sniper as well because there is a higher time to kill in this game. I think I'm going to have enough time to line up a good shot with the sniper, so that's where I want to move my play. But right now I'm using assault rifles and SMGs, which I think SMGs still work on console as well, because I just want to get more score per minute because I want to level up. I want to get all the perks, and I think this is where people don't quite understand the game. When people play without full perks or without full attachments on a gun, it makes it seem like they're a lot worse. Like, there's some guns that are just absolute trash without the right attachments. And then they're also absolute trash if you don't know how to use them. And the game is so new. I hate to hear people complain at this point in the game. Like, just shut up and play the game. Experiment a bit more before you start calling things OP or start thinking things are garbage. I think people are even going to put away some of the special abilities and go for straight up hand grenades. I'd have to see the recharge time. Like, these are the things I need to know, because there's I didn't even know you could take off this electric thing. I just saw the prompt now. So again, I'm learning a lot about this game still. I like that there is still so much depth, but I don't want to say there is a lot of depth because, again, I actually don't know that. I'm finally just hitting my stride. I can now run around the map and start getting, you know, top 3 in the game. I find that I'm not getting flanked as much because, for one, I know the maps a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit used to the audio cues. The footsteps are really weird in this game. I don't know if it's inconsistent or they're just so low that whenever anything else is going off, it's hard. It's just hard to tell where they're coming from. I've played a little bit of Blackout, and by a little bit I mean literally 2 games, and I got team killed in one of them, 50%, so that was not a very good experience. The second one wasn't a very good experience either. My whole team just kind of died to nothing, and then I was left on my own. I'm like, why'd I even go in quads? Anyways, I'm not going to talk about the bad stuff right now. I want to talk about the good parts, and the good parts are that this game is actually pretty fun. I still want to see again how much better it can get. I think it needs a few tweaks, but even then, I'm not sure what it is yet. I just feel like something is a little bit off, but some things do work. And I don't want to talk any more about that because now I just sound like I'm ranting. Let's get into this point. I wasn't ready when a guy was on the tank one time. I'm like, oh, it's funny, all the new... Oh, there is a guy on the tank. See, I couldn't even see him. God damn it. There's so many little areas that you can climb on, and I think that's what you want to focus on right now. You want to focus on learning the maps and knowing what little shortcuts there are, because they're always... Oh my god, again? I hadn't seen the prompt when I took this gameplay. Like, all these things are relatively new to me. I'm starting to catch up pretty quick, though. I feel, for somebody who has not played the beta and had to get used to all these mechanics. The slide, I'm also getting used to. I found out that chaining them with jumps actually works really well in this game. When in close quarters, it's really good to use as well. You may need a little higher sensitivity in order to even it out when you're going by somebody that close and trying to slide past them. But I think it's something that's worth doing and getting used to, because the aim after the slide can seem a little bit weird. I really like these perks that give you better hip accuracy. I've already seen some unreal combos, by the way. The double akimbo SMGs on console looked unreal. I had somebody use them on me, and I'm like, holy crap, I need those things ASAP. In small levels, like, they were just mowing, and I'm like, I literally had no chance. So I'm like, okay, that's one of those combos that in a small map, it is gonna dominate. Now, how do you stop it? Well, obviously you gotta play a little bit further back. You just have to play a little bit more smart. When you're putting down the barbed wire, like, obviously try to put it in a good spot. Somewhere where they just turn the corner and run up to it is a really good place. If you're gonna put it on stairs, don't just put it on the landing, put it on the actual stairs, because then it's harder to jump over it. There's a lot of ways to position these things to get a little bit more out of them. And if you're somebody who likes doing this, where you take one of these power positions, having the barbed wire and the shield cover your back makes it so much easier to focus on what's going on in front of you. In this last clip, I'm just going to show you some positioning and how we got this area, and kind of how the things comboed up to make each other work better. I used the barbed wire plus the wall to make like a super corner, because both of them take a lot of bullets to take out. So it's very safe for you to be on the other side, especially if you can keep yourself onto the side of it where the elevated wall is if you are going to be crouching. Alright, so other than that, I have to say that when I was editing this video together, it was hard. You guys are going to see that the guy that just died here is the guy that gets the final cam. And he ended up running into this, which I thought was kind of funny. But going back to the editing of this video, it was hard to do when I was looking back for footage because everything looks the same in this game. Like in Titanfall, I could be like, oh, this is what I was doing. Like everything sticks out to me. In this game, it's just like I'm running, I'm aiming, I'm shooting, I'm running, I'm sliding, I'm jumping, I'm shooting, I'm drop shotting, I'm shooting. I'm activating kill streaks, I'm running. Everything really does seem the same, and that's, I think, where my problem is with Call of Duty. Like, I'm still going to make a few more of these videos, and I'm hoping that I find that there's more depth to this game. It's like, yeah, it's Call of Duty, and it's a particularly good Call of Duty. It's still just Call of Duty, and I don't find that it's changed enough. Even though they did put in these specialists, and they have these abilities, and they seem to have done really good in their values of how often you get them and things like that, I still don't find that they brought anything really fresh to the table. But I'm still going to give this game a little bit more of a chance, and if not, I think it'll be a fun month to 3 months. Either way, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. For those of you guys looking for some Titanfall footage, don't you worry, I got you guys covered. But again, thank you for joining me. Support the channel, even if you're not really into Call of Duty, you know, help me out because I'm trying to get these things rolling, and the more support I get from everybody. Oh, I finally learned how to use the cluster missile. I didn't even know you could slow it down. That's interesting. I thought you could only lock on to like 2 people. Turns out you can lock on to way more, and then you can still shoot the warhead. So usually it pays off to take it slow. Or if you can do it all at once, you know, do it. You're like, that's no tip at all, Paper. Well, whatever, man. You gotta make some decisions for yourself. But I hope you do decide to like, subscribe if you're new, all that stuff. Again, thank you for joining me. I'm Paper. Cut to you. And I'll see you guys next time.